what's going on, guys? It's Q2 Paintball, and today we're going to be doing a installation video on the Darth grip, which is designed and made by me for the Field 1/4s. As you can kind of see, it is a slightly different profile than the stock one. The overall grip is a little bit beefier, pushes it out technically out further than the OG grip here. And in a way, it's almost flipped in profile, where the original grip comes in. This one stays flush with the front of the marker here. And the whole reason I started designing this grip was to make something that looked better than the stock one. I mean, this thing is just so ugly to me, and I feel that this grip more or less responds to the shape of the marker and just makes it a nicer package. So I'm going to show you guys how to install it. Let's get started with removing the engine. Pull down the back. It'll give us access to the rear frame screw. There's two holding down on the frame, which is here and here. We're going to start by removing those two screws. Place your frame to the side. We're going to have to remove the battery door, which uses an 1/8 inch. So you just have to do a 1/4 turn. Do not go further than that. You will ruin the cam design or locking mechanism, and people have gotten these stuck in their markers and they have to get them drilled out. So at the very bottom, if you guys can see this, let me see if I can brighten this up. No. Well, anyways, at the bottom where the two springs for the batteries are, inside each spring there's an 1/8 inch Allen head there. So what you want to do is loosen those up. These two screws hold on the battery connectors and attach the foregrip to the subplate. There we go. So I've always hated this ribbon connector. As you can see, this one's all mangled up now. I literally just reinstalled it for this video and brought it to this point now, unfortunately. But I don't ever plan on using it again. So there's two more screws here to remove the subplate. Or the mounting plate for the grip. Subplate should pull away. Then you have this other plate here, which is covering the connector to the ribbon. So you're going to use a 5/64 to remove these 4 screws. It's such an awkward connection between the grip and the body. It's like it's just tethered by this weak ribbon. I've always really had a disdain for it. Alright, move the subplate to the side here. So, let's see. The best way to remove these is by using a O-ring pick. And you see these two tabs on the side? You're going to push those towards the front of the body here. So, I'm going to support the board with my finger and just gently move the tabs forward like that. And the ribbon should just remove freely. And you can just push those tabs back in. We're gonna have to get back to these, to this board. Sometimes I've noticed when disassembling it, sometimes the marker gets a little finicky and it gets an eye error. And then, I mean, that's not too big of a deal, but you'll just have to probably push on the board and kind of finagle with it. Anyways, you can now discard these pieces as the rest is provided, since we're not reusing the hardware for attaching the grip. Wrong way. There you go. All right, so we can go ahead and reinstall the subplate. So a quick way to test to make sure that the eyes are okay. Grab your frame, push it up against the body, turn the marker on, and just test to make sure that the eyes are working. When the error occurs, you'll be able to click the Noid once or so, and then it's almost like they turn the X's or something like that. All right, so the board seems to be fine. So we can turn off the frame. Reattach our mounting plate here. So that screw will remain covered by the grip, and this is a black screw that will be visible once everything's back and installed. So I'm going to install this section grip that I created just to show the structure of the grip inside and how the screws kind of align with the print to allow for good structural integrity and compression. So for the hardware that's provided, I used 5/32 head screws. They're 3 inches long. Now, the most important part when it comes to installing this is, of course, not stripping the subplate. Otherwise, it's very straightforward. What I like to do, because this hardware is pretty dry, just add a drop of marker oil or something. Just a drop. It's a very small amount to the threads, and this will help guide them in easier, so there's less friction. So again, just kind of gently screw in the screws. So if you feel too much resistance, that means you're probably stripping it, so don't do that. Should go in nice and easy like this. A little bit of resistance there. I'm gonna try to turn it out a little bit. All right. There we go. Add a little bit of resistance and then just readjusted it, and now we're fine. So when you have it on the marker, you don't need to snug it up too much, as if the screws are kind of captured within the grip frame. Just give it a nice, not too much, but a little bit snug. But as you can see, the screws should align with the fill walls of the print, and it should create a nice straight load right into the subplate. And now your frame, or your grip, is mounted to its frame, and you should be good to go. Take your grip frame, trigger frame, remount it to your marker or to your body. Reinsert your engine. And there you go. That's how you install the Darth grip. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below, and enjoy the product. I am selling these for $45 shipped, which includes the grip itself, the rubber shrink wrap, the 3-inch hardware, and yeah. If you guys have any concerns with the durability, please check out the videos at the end of the video, which shows me messing around in the backyard trying to destroy this thing. This material held up fantastic. I actually look at it as like a sacrificial piece. Instead of worrying about damaging the rest of your marker, or let's say like the nice ano or aluminum piece foregrip, this can get scratched up, it could take a beating, and you're good to go. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.
Alright guys, this is now seriously like take 4. I wanted to test these to failure, so what I ended up doing is, this is like grip version 4, which was made for 1-inch hardware versus 3-inch hardware. So what I have now is an inch of screw here and 2 inches of screws, or a screw going into the block of wood, because I kept on having issues of the wood failing before the grip was failing. So it's not fastened as I would like. For some reason it stopped threading into the wood, but we're just going to test it. This drop test is really going to be testing the PETG itself, or the PETG itself, versus the whole assembly. So again, the final product is pretty much 2.5 inches of screws in the grip, and then 1/2 inch going into the subplate of the marker. So we're just going to test it and see what happens. Again, I just do want to see these fail, just out of curiosity. And with the play, because it's not tight to the board, I expect it's going to happen a little bit quicker, so we'll see. Alright, we're just going to go right to the concrete, or the mason block here. There we are. So what I'm really testing here is complete failure. We're getting cracks, which is what I would expect from it hitting this block here. What I'm more concerned about is I don't want to see these breaking off in people's hands. I mean, if this is aluminum hitting concrete or a hard surface, yeah, this is going to happen too. It's going to get marred up. It's going to look gross. But there's still structural integrity here, and that's what I'm testing. So I think that's pretty solid right there. Again, it's not a complete failure. It's still attached to the marker, and the grip is almost acting as a sacrificial piece instead of your nice aluminum grip. I actually did expect this to break at this point. Just collecting grass, dirt. Ow. All right. I think that's a success, guys. Alright, we have a new grip here, which has the layer lines orientated differently than I first had them, as I was concerned about shear destroying the layers, or running along the layers and destroying them. Again, we have 3-inch hardware running down the length of the grip now. For this particular model, the screws are about here, as I was having issues when I was testing where the screws were pulling out of the wood. So as you can see, I've already started doing a durability test on this, and it's been pretty flawless. There's no cracking. There's a bit of marring from smacking it on some mason block, but that's about it. I want to try to break it going into this forward diving position, just for peace of mind for myself if I'm selling these. So let's see if we can do failure, or get to failure. Holy shit. It's actually really hurting my hand. No cracks or anything. I'm actually really surprised. As you can see, it's pulling out of the wood already. So yeah, that's our durability test. Foregrip is perfectly intact, and the final product will be even stronger.